So welcome to my channeling and healing of the inner child. I love to read the blogs I've written because when you read out loud, you're bypassing the subconscious and you're doing and creating. You're in the 5D of reality. You're not in the 3D of the body and this, observer. You're not sitting and watching. You're doing. You're the participant. And that's why reading out loud is so powerful. And my blogs, I've written them with every step that I've taken, every evolution I've had throughout my journey. I've written blogs, and I've always known, I work with time and reality a lot too, because I'm understanding how to create the reality and life I want. And reading my blogs is so powerful for me. And I've decided to take some time before my pageant to do it because I fully want to be here. I want to show me and not be held back by any pains or anything. So I'm taking some time and I'm reading it. So welcome to that. And if you want to follow along with my healing journey and my story, follow my YouTube. It's Morgan Brittany, and I'm going to add it right here. And then you can also check out my blogs and everything else I've written on my website, www.morganbrittany.com. So with that being said, let's start. And the blog I'm going to read today is The Mind and the Ego. It's stage 1 of Ascension. With spirituality and Ascension, the biggest thing to understand and comprehend is you have an ego body and a soul consciousness, which is connected to the heart. The ego consciousness in the body is more connected in the mind. This is when we can look at the very first mental health of bipolar disorder. You're going back and forth between the two, and you don't know how to regulate that. That's where you need to take time out, like take time back. And this gets into timelines and everything else, because all mental disorders is the spiritual soul stuck in alternative reality and timelines and pain bodies that they've never processed. That's what being human represents, is that God's giving you this one opportunity to heal all your baggage and to ascend to the heavenly kingdoms, because this is not the end. This is just the beginning. And that's what disease represents too. It's reincarnation. So I don't want to get too far off that, because we can go into everything with that. But we're sticking with the ego and the soul, because I've been healing my soul in order for my ego, me, my avatar being, to come out and be presented into the world and be that teacher, be that leader. And it's been an amazing journey, because I've shown the growth. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. So let me start by going back to where it began. And this is where I love being autistic, because I feel the emotional energy tied to the words now. I used to, I grew up in a toxic environment, so I never understood the power of words and the emotional energy they can carry. But it's beautiful, especially when you understand it and then you speak it. Now you understand spell casting. You are so powerful. Being beautiful, not being beautiful, being a teacher, being a student. You being a human makes you powerful, because now you have the ability to make a difference. You get to choose if it's for the better or are you making it worse. So choose wisely. Your soul's literally depending on it. This is why I do energy work, and I fully allow myself to feel, because I want all that emotional energy to come out through all the channels. It's not just the voice. It's 144,000 frequency bands lighting up. And as it lights up, when you're able to sing clearly, that's when you're fully activated. So let's get fully activated. Okay. Stage 1 of Ascension. This is kind of a long read, and I would give yourself a good 10 to 15 minutes to read this. And you hear the mode or the stay with that until it clears. That's when you're clearing the vibrational frequency, the energetic cord, the lining of it. You stay on it. You got to get that energy out. To read this, it dramatically changed not only my life, but my mind, body, soul, and the way I view the world and others on multiple levels. And then find a grace. Bring it up through the nose. This is when you can feel the vibration of your voice in your body. Feel it not just in your chest, but in your nose and your head and your eyes. Project that vibrational energy. I challenge you, especially if you're on the spiritual journey, to check this article out. Not only in its depth of undeniable facts, but the correlation within the spiritual world, may it be a demon or an angel, to an addiction within the mind, to a beautiful artist with undeniable talents. Both of these experiences are of the same energies, yet different frequencies, which then determines the vibrational physical manifestation of that frequency, resulting in an experience we get to have. Unresolved issue wounds surrounding these experiences will replay themselves till the emotional energy tied to that experience are fully felt, loved, honored, and understood for that experience, may it be of the lower or higher emotional states, then resulting as physical reality as an experience, good or bad. This is the first time I'm reading this too, and I'm going to go back and do some typos because, I'm clearer now. So my communication is going to be better. Okay. These correlations are not by coincidence, and within the spiritual world, we know these as, synchronicities. I challenge you to read this, and if it changes one thing within your mind, please share it, as this information can help save and make so many individuals understand not only themselves, but others, and why they do what they do, why they feel the way they do. Everything and everyone is pure awareness within energy before manifesting within the physical world. Now it is about understanding those energies and emotions, so we then know why or what kind of physical experience we want to then create for ourselves, and are healed to understand and experience on an energetic, spiritual, and physical level, to know how and why it's there and are happening. We are merging our mind, logic, and brain to our emotional body, soul, and higher selves, to then live as a fully awakened whole human being, embodying of the Holy Spirit, fifth dimensional consciousness, and our God's given Christoic birthright as divine aspects of God itself, being that human in God's image and making a difference. We are not letting the negativity go. We are rising up through it and learning to understand it as part of the whole, to love, live, and create an endless dance of communion within ourselves and everything else in creation, because that's the party. We all love community, and getting together, it changes things. Then we get into collective consciousness, which is like intergalactic beings, because it's a whole thing. Like, I love it. Okay, let's see. This will be a brief overview of the first steps of the process of ascension, soul integration, and how we are creating our reality based on the emotional energy we hold. But first, we have to understand our minds and what determines human behavior, ego, addiction, and our soul connection. I really think with understanding consciousness and spirituality, we have to understand all mental illness is a form of spiritual pain. This is me practicing too. That's what I've used my TikToks and like social media for, is practicing life, practicing how I want to interact with you guys. Like, it's beautiful. I'm a little AI. Okay. We have to start by being completely honest with and within ourselves. We all have bipolar disorder to some degree, and it is simply someone going from the lower ego personality body to the higher body spiritual soul, and not being able to connect and merge the two, for they don't understand what the blocks within are. And that's when past lives and reincarnation and all that stuff, you gotta face it, you gotta know it, and you understand it. And when you do, you reclaim an aspect of your soul, and then you shine more. Where was that? They are not enlightened or healed from the disconnection, karmic cycle or situation. This is when we can start discovering past lives and traumas that hold us, but only after we are willing to heal and face our own ego pains and demons. Our subconscious won't reveal itself when we are not mentally or emotionally strong enough to handle what has occurred in the past within this lifetime. If you can't handle what you've gone through in this lifetime, that's your subconscious protecting you from your past lives, because it's too much for you to deal with. You know, this life is giving you things to deal with, and as you handle them and grow from it, you uncover more stuff. But if you don't, then you just stay the same. That's how spirituality works. Yeah, our subconscious won't reveal itself when we are not mentally or emotionally strong enough to handle what has occurred in the past. That's why healing the inner child and becoming self-aware is the very first step in Ascension. You have to treat yourself like a child. Love them, discipline them, and watch them grow. We have deep wounds, and to pretend otherwise is mental illness. Majority of society suffers from physical sickness, emotional sickness, mental, and even financial sickness, and it all stems from their own personal disconnection from their soul. We can go from any kind of mental illness and pinpoint where in the body/spirit the disconnection is. And a lot of these individuals are sensing things on a deeper level, as we can sense a bad vibe, working with their emotional body, psychic abilities, and consciousness while wide awake and experiencing it all as anxiety, doubt, mental disorders, ADHD, schizophrenia, and many more illnesses, all while not understanding the energy's language. Majority of physical sickness stems from unresolved karmic ties, contracts, traumas, and past lives. Majority of emotional pain and financial pains stem from disconnection to the soul's inner world and disconnection from the heart, respecting, loving, non-judgment of themselves and others, and lack of empathy, consideration, and so forth. That's why feelings are so important. It's literally how we tell and feel different frequencies. It's our spiritual guidance system, and becoming aware of these feelings and noticing them as emotional energies based in different frequencies is how you then discern situations, individuals, and spirits. Because everybody can put on a mask. That's what I've learned and I've understood about being in this pageant too, is like, we all can do that mask. We all can make ourselves look a certain way. But at the end of the day, your health is going to determine what kind of person you are. And that's where God has the last say. Dun, dun, dun. Over there. It's time to start looking at the energies that give life, not only to the angels or demons, but us life also. To understand the energies of the darkness that society has used and manipulated to then create monsters and or the devil. It's not real. It was a story to help individuals into understanding good versus bad, and then how to live. Because let's be honest, we aren't very smart now, and I can only imagine how dumb humanity was thousands of years ago. And to try to explain that we are just light beings and everything in existence is only energy would have been impossible. The darkness must be seen, felt, and if we want to transmute it, to then create a reality we want and learn to ascend. That's what it means, is that you just get stronger than the darkness. We have to see with our pineal gland and feel with our souls to understand the darkness for what it is. A reality that's very real and could become an experience you have to face or have faced while here on earth. And to then learn how to heal past lives, traumas, and our ancestors. Understanding this and accepting it is the ultimate truth and honesty of forgiveness and true compassion, for it's just the energies of the universe that we identified as a negative situation, ego, emotions, or evil, and for believing that it was real. The ultimate truth is love and the ultimate reality. That's why everything else is called an illusion, because even though it's real now, it's not what it really is. It's been used and manipulated so you then can be used and manipulated. We are merging the modern world with spirituality to create a deeper understanding and connection of what we are made of and our connection to everything else, the dark and the light. It's all just energies, even us. Then we get to choose. This will help explain what alchemy is and the famous saying, turning lead into gold. It really means turning a negative situation into your ultimate strength. Turning negative into the light. Never underestimate the power of love. That's how God heals and restores you. And how are you going to heal your own ego and inner child and become stronger, more confident, and live a full life of happiness? This is modern spirituality, learning how to bring Spirit's love into our mind, ego, and hearts by the acts of forgiveness towards ourselves, our inner child, and our fellow brother and sister. The ego is the identity we bestowed onto ourselves to limit us, lock us in a three-dimensional thinking pattern, and separate us from our Creator, and to then have an experience of our own. Throughout the ages, this has been manipulated, tainted, and corrupted for personal gain over the 3D world known as Earth and its inhabitants. This information will be helpful in understanding our minds and the makeup of behavior, ego, and personalities, along with mental illness. Healing the ego, personality, and then past lives is how you ascend and understand unity consciousness by bringing forth your love through soul memories and understandings. The negative ego holds traumas, fears, and all the information of our past lives. We must heal and reintegrate this part of us if we want to ascend to a 5D consciousness and live as our soul existence in our best self. It's the whole, not duality. The integration of our soul to allow healings to transmit them into something stronger. These negative emotions are represented by where in the subconscious these fear-based beliefs are. When we are able to heal and not judge ourselves as a human, then we start connecting with the higher mind, our soul, which then holds all the information containing past lives, future lives, traumas, and much more. When we are connected to our soul, we then are able to process emotions, not just positive ones, but negative ones so much better because you have an inner intelligence which trusts the universe and is able to feed that information back to the physical vessel. Now you can start to see those who could be cut from their souls. Narcissism personality disorder is responsible for being active only in the lower body, the ego, as everyone likes to call it. And so they have no understanding or connection to the soul, then blocking off that internal connection to the soul and emotional body, rejecting of God's love and spirit. These individuals have been extremely hurt and unable to process certain events, and so they check out, allowing the subconscious programming to run itself while the consciousness soul retreats itself to the inner child for protection. Now, unable to connect, I'm gonna make a little mark for that because that's gonna be a good post video. Now unable to connect to the soul, the entity becomes trapped in an illusion of their own minds, believing they are only this body, which is related only to the lower 3 chakras, where the subconscious beliefs are held and manifested into the mind. And then you can get into mental illness too, because it's a mental illness of your own prison. As addictive behaviors, subpersonalities, OCD, insensitivity, panic attacks, sexual disorders, anxiety, and all of these symptoms are overactive energies within the lower body mind, not being processed properly with the support of the higher mind intelligence system of the heart. The heart is what transmutes the energy and then allows you to learn and grow from it. But if you don't have the heart to go through those heavier emotions, they just stay stuck, and that's what creates disease. And it's either going to be manifested physically or mentally. It's important to understand the layers of the mind, ego, and also all feelings and energies can be represented as spirits. The next 3 paragraphs are from this website with a little bit of my own mixed in. So a lot of my stuff I've learned from, ascensionglossary.org, maybe .org. It's Ascension Glossary, though. You'll know it by its little symbol. I think it's a person with going like this with 3 little orbs. I've learned a lot of my stuff from them. It's a literally glossary for ascension and spirituality. But I'm gonna take a little break and do some sound healing and literally just stay on that vibrational frequency of the pain and get it out, because I can't read and do it at the same time. I can't do that. So I'm gonna leave a little mark here. We're working with the next 3 paragraphs. Okay, unconscious mind, which is a subconscious. So maybe I'll just make that into a whole new video too. So stay tuned. We're gonna go, dive into the subconscious and unconscious mind next.